Hi, this is Roy King with Custom Computer Detailing in Natchez, Mississippi. I am going to make a tutorial video this evening showcasing how to do software updates on computers that I have recently serviced. Before I get started, let me show you my business card in case you're not familiar with me. My name is Roy King. I live in Natchez, N-A-T-C-H-E-Z, Mississippi, MS. My telephone number is 601-870-5372. If you need assistance with your computer, if you live within a 50-mile radius of Natchez, Mississippi, or within my service area, please give me a call and I will try to assist you. And this is the back side of my business card. Okay, so I'm looking at a computer. This is the screen that I'm looking at. This computer was originally set up for a potential sale to a business client. The company sold and rented tuxedos, and they chose not to purchase this particular computer after I'd taken the time to set it up. That's okay. But anyway, that's why it has a tuxedo for the picture on the desktop. And the actual computer is this HP 8000 Elite. It is sitting on the floor. That is the computer that I'm doing the software updates to. Now this computer, it's been several months since it's been connected to the internet, so pretty much every one of my cleaning programs is going to need updating, and also there's probably going to be Windows updates as well. So we're going to go through these updates. We're going to start at the top and we're going to work our way down. Now if I've previously serviced your computer in the past, you should, in your upper right hand corner, you should have this computer toolbox right here. Inside that computer toolbox will be a number of software shortcuts for you that are there to assist you when you're doing your software updates and your cleaning scans. So we're going to open up that toolbox and we're going to start at the very top. So I double clicked on computer toolbox, the computer toolbox folder. When I did, the actual folder opened up. It says computer toolbox. We see some subfolders within it, but we're going to start down here where it says 00A, Ninite updates. Now Ninite is a website that is very useful for doing numerous updates at the same time. So I'm going to double click on A, 00A. And it opens a web page. I just closed that computer toolbox in the background just to keep it simple. It opens up this web page, which is basically https://ninite.com. And as we look at the website, as I scroll down it, this website offers us links to do our software updates for a number of programs. So we're going to update, for example, the Google Chrome and the Mozilla Firefox programs. We're going to update those. The 7-Zip program. Not necessarily going to update the Skype or the Dropbox, although I have installed that on other computers in the past. If you have that on your particular computer and you wish to update it, then put check marks in those. iTunes, if it had Apple software, I don't think this one does. VLC is a media player, Winamp is a media player, and Audacity is a media player. I don't think I have the iTunes installed on this particular system, but I do have the other three. Java. Now for Java, in a 64-bit operating system, the Java is going to have a 32-bit version and a 64-bit version of the Java program. And when you do the updates from this website, you'll actually get both the 32 and the 64-bit updates. And we're also going to do the Adobe Air and the Adobe Shockwave player. And I think that's it. So that is the website. Again, it is https://ninite.com. And if I've done your computer in the past, you have this in your toolbox as a shortcut. So we're going to click Chrome, Firefox, 7-Zip. We're going to skip Dropbox and Skype because I don't think they're actually on this particular computer. We're going to skip the iTunes, where you are going to select VLC, Winamp, and Audacity, Java, Air, Adobe Shockwave Player, and I think that's it. So we're going to count those and see how they add up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I guess there's just 6. Oh, correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So get your Ninite and back out just a little bit. And down here at the bottom, there's a little Windows firewall. It says, do you want to run or save Ninite, 7-Zip, Air, Audacity, Chrome, Firefox, Java 8 installer, and it just goes on. We're going to say run. If for any reason run does not work on this, we will hit save and then run. So there's run. And that looks like that's working. This progress box popped up. Now this is another Windows firewall. It's asking us, do we want to continue? The answer is yes. So now it is downloading updates to Firefox. We're going to click where it says show details. All right. So we are downloading Firefox, Chrome, Air, 32-bit version of Java, 64-bit version of Java, Adobe Shockwave Player, 7-Zip, Winamp, Audacity, and VLC. And you'll see pretty quick, this is very fast versus going to each individual website and downloading updates to those individual programs from the actual Adobe site or the actual Mozilla Firefox site or the actual Google Chrome site. Here you just go in and select everything that you want to update, and the program kind of does it for you. It's a self-installer. Now, notice on the 32-bit version of Java, it says skipped, program running, or locked. So basically, it was using the 32-bit version of Java probably to post this web page. And the way to get around that is to repeat this process, repeat the Java 32-bit version, and immediately close the browser box in the background. Just keep this box open, and hopefully it will download the second time. But we're going to go ahead and close this box here for now. So I'm going to go up in this corner for Ninite, and I'm going to close that box. So now all I have is the actual download box. Again, I should have done that earlier. I didn't think about it until I seen the error. Now we're going to move these up to where they normally reside on the desktop. So the Firefox normally goes here. The Google Earth normally goes up here. So we're going to move those up. Okay, again, we're still downloading the 64-bit version of Java. It's taking a little time here. It's fine. And this is probably going to turn out to be a fairly significantly long video. I'm going to try to make one continuous video. In the past, I have I didn't really know how to post longer than 15-minute videos when I first started posting to YouTube, and now that I know how to make one long continuous video, I'm going to do that with this particular update as well. And I'm going to go in and replace my older tutorial videos that show how to do software updates and cleaning scans. So it kind of looks like we're just sitting back watching the paint dry, but the computer is actually doing a lot of work right now. Notice that it's installing Java 64-bit. It's waiting to install Adobe Shockwave Player, and it's still downloading Audacity, and it's waiting to download VLC. So, like I said, this is a great website for saving time when you're doing your software updates. And I'm hand holding the camera, so I apologize for anybody that's getting motion sickness in the background. I'll try not to shake it too awful much. So it looks like it's on the last program, the VLC program. It is still downloading that update for the VLC, but it has finished installing everything else. This particular computer is relatively fast. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM in it. It's got a an Intel Core 2 Duo Pro processor with an SSD hard drive, and like I said, 8 gigabytes of RAM. So the three things that make a computer fast, hardware-wise, is the speed of the processor and the number of cores in the processor, the amount of RAM, and the speed of the hard drive. So two of the three components are pretty nice in this computer. The SSD hard drive and the RAM are significant. So I can't really do much about the processor speed, but it's not a slow processor. It's a pretty decent processor. Okay, so those updates finished, and it actually tells us finished. Just get help on failed or skipped applications, or retry, reinstall. Let's try the where it says retry, reinstall. Let's click on that. Notice this time it is downloading the Java again, and the other browser is not open in the background. So we're hoping this time it's going to take, since we don't have the actual web page open. We'll see. Looks like it's hit a little bit of a pause there on the download, but it'll get there. So it's finished downloading Java at 32-bit. It's attempting to install it now. Still installing it. All right, it's taking a minute to install it. There it finally went. Right. So it finished all those updates: Firefox, Chrome, Adobe Air, Java 32-bit, Java 64-bit, Adobe Shockwave Player, 7-Zip, Winamp, Audacity, and VLC. Now, if you had the Skype and the Dropbox and the iTunes program, by all means select those as well if those are pre-installed on your computer. I don't believe they're on this one, so I left those off on this particular demonstration. So I'm going to click close right here. All right, so the Ninite link is gone. I have no browsers open right now. I'm going to come up here because I updated my Firefox and my Google Chrome and possibly the Google Earth. I'm going to open each of those briefly just to make sure that there's no setup pages on any of them. All right, down here at the bottom it says, it looks like you haven't started Firefox in a while. Do you want it to clean it up for a fresh, like new experience? And by the way, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and say refresh Firefox. I'm going to click right there. All right. So it says to start fresh to fix problems and restore performance. This will remove your add-ons and customizations, restore your browser settings to their defaults. So I'm going to click refresh Firefox. All right. So it says success. So we're going to close this page. Up here at the top, I click right there where that X is. Right. It's showing me the home page as this Mozilla.org. That's not the home page I want. So I'm going to come over here where the three little bread slices of bread are. I'm going to expand that. I'm going to come down to where it says options. All right. When I click on options, it opens this settings page. So where it says show your home page. All right, the home page is Mozilla Firefox start page. We're going to change that. I like to, for the Firefox, I like to make it msn.com. That's just for it to be standardized on all computers that I work on. So I'm typing in HTTP. Colon / www.msn.com. I'm doing this really weird how I'm holding the camera, and so I'm not setting any speed records here. All right, so I've changed it to HTTP. I'm going to actually put an S behind that P. HTTPS / www.msn.com. And we're going to X out up here. All right, it's asking me now, confirm close. You're about to close 2 tabs. Are you sure you want to continue? And it's already pre-checked to warn me when I attempt to close multiple tabs. We're going to say close tabs. So the browser completely closed there. We're going to come back into Firefox one more time. This time it's asking, it opened to msn.com, but now it's trying to become my default browser. I don't particularly want it to be my default browser. I want my default browser to remain Internet Explorer by personal preference. So I'm going to, where it says always perform this check when starting Firefox, I'm going to uncheck that. And also up above it says Firefox is not currently set as your default browser. Would you like to make it your default browser? And always perform this check when starting Firefox. So I'm unchecking that and I'm saying not now. Okay. So we're back. This is the MSN page. If I scroll, it's just the news page for MSN, the website. All right. So I'm going to close this page. So now I've closed that browser completely. I'm going to do the same thing for Google Chrome because I updated it and it's been a while since it's been open. All right, it should be set to open to Google. So that's the address that I have it set for Google Chrome. https://www.google.com. And if for some reason it's not that and you want to get it back to that, we'll come over here. It doesn't have the three slices of bread. It's got 3 dots in the browser. We're going to click on those 3 dots. We're going to come down here to settings. As the page opens, it's going to be all the way at the bottom. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page. It says on startup, and we're talking about on startup for Google Chrome. We're going to open a specific page or set of pages. And that specific page or set of pages is going to be https://www.google.com. Now, if you want to change it back and it's not that, you can delete whatever is there and change it to that, or you can change it to whatever you want your home page to be with Google Chrome. All right, so we are done with changing updating the Google Chrome. We're going to close this. So the Google Chrome is completely closed. We're going to double click on it one more time just to make sure that it's not asking us any additional questions. And while we're thinking about it, let's go back to Firefox. Do the same thing there. Double click on it. Make sure it's not asking us any additional setup questions. Okay, it is not. That looks pretty good. All right. So we're done with our 2 internet browsers. Now, these Audacity, VLC, and Winamp are media players. We did update those. So we're just going to open each one of them and make sure there's no additional questions that that I can resolve for you when they open. So I double click on Audacity. It opens to this page here. That's fine. This is going to be the latest version of Audacity. Nothing else pops up in the middle that we need to deal with, so that's good. We're going to drag this Audacity shortcut. We're dragging it over, and we're going to drop it in our Media Players folder. And when I do, it says there's already something in there called Audacity, a shortcut link. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the old link with the newest link. So we're going to say move and replace. So I'm going to click right here. All right, so it's replaced the old Audacity link in this Media Players folder with the newest link that I just created. We're going to do the same thing with VLC. Here's my VLC media player. Double click on it, it opens up. We're going to come over here where it says help. Click on that, check for updates. Should be the latest version. You have the latest version of VLC Media Player now. So we're going to say close. And we're going to close this page. And we're going to drag VLC into our Media Players folder. Drop it. And it says there's already one in there. So we're going to move and replace. So we're going to replace the file in this destination folder with the file you are moving. Right. Same thing with Winamp. This last one is Winamp. It's another media player. Double click on it to open it. Looks like it's going to make us go through some of the setup pages. All right, Bonito Scan is what it's defaulted to. That's fine. We're going to hit next. Make sure all of this is unchecked, as well as this down here is unchecked, and just hit finish. Here's a Windows Firewall. Ask us, do we want to continue? Yes. It says sending in user information. Right down here at the bottom, we may see a little Windows Firewall pop up here in just a second. Let's see. Nope, not this time. Sometimes it pops up there and you have to click down there and allow it to go through the firewall. Not this time. Okay, so the Winamp is open, it's been updated. We don't have anything to change in the settings, so we're going to close it and we're going to drag it over here, holding the mouse down, the left side of the mouse down, dragging it, and we're going to drop it into our media players folder. And when we do, it says move and replace. We're going to select that. Alright, now the one that says old Firefox data. Remember we updated the Firefox a minute ago, and apparently it created a folder containing some of the old data, which there probably wasn't that much there, but that's fine. We don't necessarily want to delete that. It's not going to hurt us if we do, but we're going to save it. We're going to just drag this old Firefox data. We're going to drag it, and we're going to drop it into our toolbox. All right. So we've done a lot of updates in 27 minutes already. So we're going to go back into our toolbox right here, toolbox folder. We're going to double click on it. Now we're going to come down here to where it says Windows Update. Windows Update right there, 00C. All right. We're going to close this box here behind us, the toolbox. All right. It says check for updates for your computer. Always install the latest updates to enhance your computer security and performance. Of course, we want those security updates from Microsoft. So we're going to say yes, we want those. So check for updates. It says Windows Update cannot currently check for updates because the service is not running. You may need to restart your computer. All right. I ran into this the other day when I was doing these updates with these computers that haven't been doing updates in a little bit. What I have to do is I have to stop the update service. I have to use the command prompt to do that. It's a little tricky. We'll come back to the Windows updates. We're going to do everything else, and then if I feel comfortable showing you how to correct that Windows update error, then I'll show you on the video toward the end. Okay. So for now, we're going to skip the Windows updates. All right, go back into the toolbox. All right, verify Java version. That's the next one, 00D. Now, you may recall that we updated the Java using the Ninite website. Here we're going to make sure we don't have any old versions of Java, and it's also going to verify that the version that we downloaded was the latest version. So we're going to double click on verify Java version. And when we do, this box pops up here. We can close the toolbox in the background. It doesn't matter. So here it says verify Java and find out-of-date versions. Check to ensure that you have the recommended Java version of Java installed on your Windows computer, and identify any versions that are out of date and should be uninstalled. So we're going to say agree and continue. And when we do, we're going to see several things pop up here. See that little wheel spinning? Okay. And it says, congratulations. You have the recommended Java installed version 8, update 161. No out-of-date versions of Java were found. And today's date is 1/18/2018 at 8:16 p.m. Central Standard Time in the United States. So for today, that is the most recent version of Java. And we don't have any old versions of either the 32-bit or the 64-bit version of Java installed that we need to remove. It just has the 32-bit and the 64-bit current versions of Java, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to close this up here. All right, back into the toolbox again. Double clicked on it, the toolbox opens up. Now we're down to where it says Update Adobe Flash Player. All right, so we are going to double click on Adobe Flash Player 00E. I'm going to close the toolbox in the background just to keep it simple for my viewers. I'm going to make this a little bigger because you can't see it all. All right, see where it says Install Google Toolbar for Internet Explorer? All right, you may love the Google Toolbar. I don't have anything particularly against it, but I'm not going to allow it to install any additional toolbars or additional programs when I'm doing these software updates. I'm only going to download the actual programs that I want, and I don't necessarily want the Google Toolbar. So I'm going to uncheck that, and I'm going to come down to the bottom of the page where it says Install right here. Install now. It's a 19 megabyte download. So we can see several things happening. There was a little box that popped up here for just a second. Now we're looking at a Windows firewall down here that says, do you want to run or save a Flash Player 28AX underscore CE underscore install.exe. It's 1.14 megabytes. All right. Well, this is the actual installer program. It's kind of like an assistant for installing the Adobe Flash Player. So we're going to say yes. We want to run it or save it. We're going to hit run first. If it doesn't work from run, we'll come over and save it, and then we'll run it. This time the run did not work. Notice I clicked on run and nothing happened. So we're going to hit save. All right. We waited till we got the run option again. Now we're going to click on run, and it should work this time. So we're waiting. We're going to see a pop-up box appear. This is another Windows firewall. Adobe Flash Player installer. Do we want to allow that to continue? The answer is yes. All right, so it is open that. We're closing the browser. You must close the browser or this will not happen. This will fail. So it will download fine, but when it gets to the installation part, the installing part, it will fail if the browser is still open. All right, so we got the browser closed in time. We successfully updated the Adobe Flash Player. Installation is complete. We're gonna got the little green check over there. We're gonna hit finish, and this is our little success page. All right, from Adobe. Just close that. So we're moving right along. We're at 34 minutes in the video. We're going to double click on the toolbox again. All right, at this point we have done all those 99 updates. We had to skip the Windows updates because we ran into some issues there. We're going to probably come back to that later. Verify Java version, I've already done that. And I just updated the Adobe Flash Player. So we covered the 00A through 00E shortcuts. All right. Now, if you have Apple software on here, such as iTunes and QuickTime and iCloud, sometimes I make a 00B shortcut right there. But every time Apple comes out with a new version of iTunes or iCloud, it breaks that little shortcut link. That 00B Apple update link won't work anymore. And then you'd have to come over to your Start, All Programs. If you had the Apple software, it would be up here toward the top, and you could recreate the shortcut and drag it back into the toolbox. All right. If you don't have an iPhone or an iPad that you're syncing to your computer, I don't recommend doing the iTunes, the QuickTime, or the iCloud, because Apple comes out with an update every single week for that, And if you're not using the software anyway, it's just an annoying extra task that you have to do weekly to get the either to hide the update notification or to do the update. Okay, so now we are we finished the 00 A through E. We're looking down 1 through 10. So if we look at our actual cleaning steps, start at here at number 1, cleanup cleans the history, and they come down here to number 10, use system protection to create and use hard restore points. So we are going to come in and we are going to update a bunch of these programs. Now, I already know that there's a bunch of these programs. I've rearranged the order of them. So let's just start with 03, U, Glarious Utilities, cleans the registry. Let's get that updated. The U is a reminder to tell you that it needs to be updated regularly. So wherever you see a U, like under SpyBot, Malwarebytes, Glarious Utilities, see there's U's behind those. That's to tell you, help you remember to update those. So we're going to double click on Glarious Utilities. Windows Firewall popped up. Yes. All right, there's the actual Glarious Utilities. We're going to close the toolbox just to keep it simple for the viewer. All right, here's a little advertisement. They're hoping that you'll buy the Pro version. You don't need the Pro version unless you just really want it. You know, if you got money to throw away, and it's a good program, it absolutely is. But if you've just got that money and you don't care about $20 and would like the professional version of this program, by all means, download it. But I'm not going to download the latest version of the professional. I'm going to say no thanks. And as I'm looking at the page here, notice it says that I have version 5.79. Now I know for a fact that 5.79 is not the latest version of this program. And usually by now it will have already offered to allow me to download the latest version, and it hasn't yet. So I'm going to come over here to where it says Overview, and I'm going to select from the Overview page. I'm going to come over here where it says Check for Updates. Alright, it says unable to retrieve information from Glarious Utilities for whatever reason. Now that could be that we just haven't restarted the computer after we've updated the Java and the Flash player, and so that it's just not populating that there's updates available for this particular program. I don't know. I'm going to try it one more time. It still says unable to retrieve. So let's restart the computer and see what happens. And folks, this is good that I'm going through this on a computer that hasn't been connected to the internet in several months, and doing these updates with you on video. So as I run into these problems and deal with them and explain how I'm dealing with them, you can do the same on your computer. Again, if you have not had your computer previously serviced by me, this may be a very frustrating video for you, because you are not going to have these programs existing on your computer to work off from to try to get the newer versions of. So we've just restarted the computer. I'll give it a couple more seconds. Sees it. Looks like it's completed. So we're going to go back into the toolbox. Again, we're working on Glarious Utilities. It's number 3, 03. So here's Glarious Utilities, number 3. Double click on it. There's our Windows Firewall. All right. Notice here it says that, first of all, we have version 5.79, but version 5.91 is available. Update now, it says. And it also tells us on this other box, if I can get it to focus, a newer version of Glarious Utilities is available. And they're giving us all these different ways to do the download. Well, this is how I prefer to do it, just me. I do Remind Me Later here. And then I come down to, let me close the toolbox in the background so that won't confuse you. All right. I'm going to come down here to the bottom where it says version 5.91 is available. Update now. It takes me to a web page for Galeri's Utilities. I'm going to, let's go full page on that. Alright. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Again, they're trying to sell me the Pro version. Nothing wrong with the Pro version other than it costs $20. If you want the Pro version and some of the automation that comes with it, by all means purchase it. But it looks like it's $20 per year. So plan on having to purchase it every year. So I'm going to say no thanks to the Pro version. All right. And it still leaves me on this page here, GaleriSoft.com, Galeri's Utilities, download, update. All right, so I'm looking at the free version and I'm looking at the Pro version. And they're trying to talk me into it by showing me these extra things here that it does automatic for you. Well, again, I don't want the Pro version. I want the free version. So I'm going to, right down here at the bottom where it says download from CNET, that's the link that I use. So I'm going to click that. And it takes me to this page here. Now notice that I still have that first page open. This is the page that I'm working off now. And I'm looking at this where it says Galeri's Utilities download now. Alright. I'm not looking at buy now or start download or get Chrome now or click to start download. I'm only doing this right here. Just this right here. You have to be careful what you click on when you're doing these updates. So we're waiting on the page to load. It says thank you for downloading up here at the top. We're still waiting. It should appear down here at the bottom as like a Windows firewall. Oh, here they're going to give us a commercial. We got to wait for it to work through that. It's coming. I do this a lot, and it's predictable, so hang tight. Well, by the way, I'm using Internet Explorer as my default browser to do these downloads. If you're using Firefox or Google Chrome, they may download and you may have to click on different things on the web page in order to open your downloads or get to them. So my recommendation is just do what I'm doing. Keep your browser, your default browser is Internet Explorer. It says your download will begin in a moment. If it doesn't, restart the download. So far it hasn't started yet. If it had, we would have something right down here where it would say save or run or whatever, and we don't have that yet. So I guess that's good that it didn't work because it gives us something else to show you. So we're going to click on where it says restart the download. Alright, so this time it did show it. So do you want to run or save Galeri's Utilities version 5 setup.exe? Alright, I prefer to save it and do a save as. So I'm going to come over here where it says save. Right there next to it, I'm going to up that arrow. If it will pop up for me. Alright, so where it says save as, let's select save as. And it's giving me a save box, save as, and it's wanting to put it in my pictures for some reason. Well, my pictures is not where I want it. So I'm going to move that to my desktop by clicking desktop. And I'm going to rename the file down here at the bottom. I'm going to call it raw, R-A-W. And that version is version 91. So I'm going to type in, I'm going to modify that name, .91. So it's raw. You put an underscore back there. Right? So I'm calling it raw underscore Glaris Utilities version 5 update 91 setup. All I changed was I added .91 and I added raw and an underscore in front of it. And I'm saving it to my desktop where I can find it easily. And I'm going to hit save right here. And see it says running security scan at the bottom.
This is CNET, and here are the stories that matter right now. Bitcoin fell below $10,000 temporarily and nearly 25% overall at one point as January's cryptocurrency.
Alright, so now it's downloaded that. It's actually saved it to the desktop. So it's giving me the option to run it, open the folder, or view downloads. I'm just going to close this whole page. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to hit the X here. I'm going to come up here to the top. I'm going to close that page. And I'm going to close that page. So here's my original Glaris Utilities program. It's still sitting open. It hasn't been updated yet. See, version 5.79. Update that's available is 5.91. And right over here is my 5.91 that I just downloaded. So I know I'm going to replace this with this. So I'm just going to go ahead to keep the confusion down. I'm just going to go ahead and close this program here, the Glaris Utilities program. I'm going to come over to where I've got the raw program to reinstall. Double click on it. Here's my Windows Firewall. Say yes. Alright, so here it's telling me that welcome to Glaris Utilities 5.91 Setup Wizard. I'm going to hit next. I agree. Next. Alright, see where it says create a desktop icon? I still have a good desktop icon in this folder. So I don't really need to recreate the desktop icon. All the others should be left unchecked. And I'm going to hit install. Right, so it is finished installing, and I have finish here, and run is checked. Run Glaris Utilities 5.91. So when I hit finish, the Glaris Utilities program will reopen it. It should be the latest version. So there's my Glaris Utilities program pop back up, plus a web page telling us that, you know, thank you for downloading Glaris Utilities. So let's close that web page. That adds a lot of confusion to the tutorial. So here's the actual program, the Glaris Utilities. Notice that it is now version 5.91. And there are no additional updates available. So we're going to look under Overview, and we're under Overview. The only thing that should be checked here is check for updates when program starts. And under Click Maintenance, we're going to have everything checked under Click Maintenance with the exception of Disk Repair. And we're not going to bother with Advanced Tools. I'm going to come over here to Menu, Settings, and we're going to make sure that nothing is checked in the general settings for the Glaris Utilities program. And nothing is. So we're going to say OK or cancel. It really doesn't matter. Or we could just X out up here. Doesn't matter. And we're going to select close to close the Glaris Utilities program. So to be clear, I've got the raw program over here, and I've also got the shortcut for the inside the computer toolbox to actually launch the installed program. Now I like keeping the latest reinstall programs in my computer toolbox, so I'm going to drag my raw underscore Glaris Utilities 5.91 setup. I'm going to drag that over here, and I'm going to drop it in my toolbox. Right? So as I double click my toolbox, when I look down here at number 3U, there's Glaris Utilities cleans the registry. And guess what? That is the latest version, 5.91. We just updated it. And if I look toward the bottom of the page, as I scroll down toward the bottom, I can see there's my 5.79 that I downloaded back July 16th. Here's my 5.91 that I just downloaded today. So I can actually go in and I can delete that old one. It really doesn't matter. But if I just want to get rid of that from my reinstall list, select it, hit delete down here at the bottom. Just thinking about it. Sometimes this happens too. Sometimes it doesn't delete immediately. You would think it's such a simple task for it to throw away a file, but sometimes it doesn't. The computer doesn't see it quite that simple. Notice it's still sitting there. My 5_79 still sitting there. So we'll look at throwing that away later after we've restarted the computer once. All right. The next thing we're going to do is all right, so we've got no function here. Oh, here we go. Are you sure you want to move this file to the recycle bin? The answer is yes. And my screen was locked up there for a minute. I had one of those situations where the computer just wasn't responding for whatever reason, and it's still trying to throw it away. It says it cannot throw it away for some reason. This action cannot be completed because the file is open in another program. Close the file and try again. We're just going to say cancel for now, and we'll deal with it in a minute. So what we're going to do next is we are going to update the Malwarebytes and the SpyBot program. So I'm opening up the toolbox. I'm coming down to where it says number 5, Malwarebytes, anti-malware. My pretty little icon is missing from this one. That's okay. And double click on it. Yes to the firewall. I'm going to close my toolbox in the background to keep it simple for the tutorial. Alright, so here it says my database version is version 2017 July 26, update number 2 of the day. And today is January the 18th, 2018. So that update is about 5 months old, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here where it says update. We're going to click on that. Now, this version that I'm running of Malwarebytes Anti-Malware is it's the free version, and it's version 2.2.0.1024. That is not the latest version of Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes actually has a version 3 with a whole bunch of numbers behind it. It really doesn't matter which version that you're using, so long as your virus definitions or malware definitions are up to date. So I prefer to keep using this version. That's just me. And I know that as long as I don't make a mistake on this program, I get to keep using it for free. So here it says Malwarebytes Anti-Malware. A new version of Malwarebytes Anti-Malware is ready to be installed. Install now. We're going to say, no, I don't want the latest version. So we're going to say later. I only have 2 options, okay and later. So I'm going to say later. And at this point, notice that my date changed over here. My database version changed to version 2018, January the 18th, update number 9 of the day. And that corresponds to the date and the time. Okay, so the Malwarebytes is now back up to date. All right, we're going to come back into the toolbox again. And we're going to update number 6, which is the SpyBot Search and Destroy. Right there. We're going to double click on it. All right, the program's opening up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the toolbox, a folder in the background just to keep it simple. Okay, so what I'm going to click on here, I know my definitions for my SpyBot are out of date as well, so I'm going to click right here where it says search for updates. And yes to the firewall. And this is what is called mirror sites. These are different servers around the world. Some are in Germany, Europe, Britain, United States. More in Germany, France, Europe, NL, whatever that is, New York, London, Germany. These are different server sites that have these updates for this particular program. Doesn't matter which one we select, just as long as we select one. And I've gotten into a habit, because I'm kind of OCD, I like to select this one here, this BN File Forum Global. It doesn't really matter which one you select, so long as you select one. And we're going to hit continue. And it says that I have these definitions available, updates for these definitions. Most up-to-date definitions, most up-to-date detections, up-to-date base, Trojan horse detections. So, and it shows you how big each one of them is. So we're going to say download down here at the bottom. It's downloading those updates, and now it's gotten them. So our SpyBot Search and Destroy should essentially be mostly caught up here. We're going to hit exit, and we're going to redo the search for updates. It says no newer updates are available, so it looks like we're back up to current again. All right, so I close that. I'm going to close the SpyBot program. All right, we're going to go back into our computer toolbox. And we've just updated the SpyBot Search and Destroy. The next thing that we're going to do updates to is our antivirus. Now, this particular computer is a Windows 7 Pro 64-bit. And I have a version of Norton Corporate Edition antivirus. But it's not called Norton, it's called Symantec Endpoint Protection. But Symantec and Norton is the same company. So whenever you see Norton, you will see Symantec. Norton by Symantec. So if you see Symantec, think Norton. If you see Norton, think Symantec. All right. So this is a corporate version of Norton antivirus. So we are going to, this is inside my toolbox, of course. I want to show you something on the bottom of the taskbar, this lower taskbar. This is my that little gold shield represents my Norton. And if I can get the angle just right, let's see if we can see it better. See, there's like a little water bubble or a watermark or something on top of that shield, a little circle down there at the bottom. All right, that tells you that there's a problem. Just like that red X right there tells you that there's a problem, this little water bubble tells you that there's a problem. And the problem is going to be that the virus definitions haven't been updated in 5 months because the computer hasn't been hooked to the internet in 5 months. And the Norton program realizes its definitions aren't current and it wants to be current. So we're going to come into number 8, U, which is the antivirus update. We double clicked on it. It says user account control. Do you want to allow the following program to make changes to the computer? Symantec Endpoint Protection. This is just a firewall, just like we've seen numerous times already. Answer is yes. So we're going to close the computer toolbox folder in the background so it won't be confusing. All right, so just our Nortons open here. Symantec Endpoint Protection. Virus and spyware protection definitions are out of date. Imagine that. It's been 5 months. Virus and spyware protection definitions are out of date. So what we're going to do, we could just click right here and say fix. I like to, because I'm OCD, I like to click over here where it says live update and kind of do it manually. So I clicked on the live update. It's now doing the updates, live update status. It is actually downloading the updates to my Norton, getting all those new viruses that have been produced, or at least what an image of what they look like, so when it does its scan, it'll know it when it sees it. So it's been 5 months. There was 9 categories of updates. And notice the last one is kind of trickling along. It's at 17%, 18%. That's the one that actually has the virus definitions in it. And that one's going to take the longest, so that might be another minute or two. So let's see what we can find to talk about during that minute. If I have serviced your computer in the past, unless it's a Windows 8, 8.1, or Windows 10 computer in which I install this version of Norton, which is a paid version of Norton, that's the only program that would need to be updated yearly that you would have to pay for. This corporate version of Norton doesn't expire. It's got it's not going to ask you every 12 months for you to renew it. So all you have to do is just make sure that you keep the computer on or turn it on occasionally and do your live updates for your Norton, and you're protected. And also I tell my customers this repeatedly. They don't always listen, particularly family members. They tend not to listen because I guess they figure, hey, if we mess it up, we got a computer technician in the family, he can come fix it. But you do not need any additional software programs to maintain your computer. If I have serviced your computer in the past, you have all the software needed on your computer already. So no additional maintenance programs are required. Don't download any driver update programs or additional registry cleaning programs or additional programs for defragging the hard drive, and you absolutely never want more than one dedicated antivirus program on your computer. If I had Norton and I had McAfee, both are good programs, but if I had both of them, there is a possibility that they could go into Civil War mode and go to fighting each other, because they both see each other. They see each program, the opposite program, as being a dominant program on the computer and a potential threat. And they see it as a threat and they go to attacking each other. And you can literally lock up a computer by putting more than one antivirus program on the same computer. So we're up to 99% on that virus definition update. It's 100%. Notice it says processing updates at the bottom. It will probably sit there for 10 or 15 seconds before it finishes this update. So I'm covering a lot of material in this tutorial. I want you, as a client of mine, to be comfortable with the software that's on your computer and understand that you need no additional software in most cases other than what I've already put on the computer. Alright, so it says session summary. 9 updates were available, 9 updates were installed, live update session is complete, and it says close down at the bottom. And also another thing is this up here that used to have that warning that said that your virus definitions were out of date. This was yellow. It is now green, and it says your computer is protected, no problems are detected. Alright, so we're going to close this down here. And we're going to click on Live Update one more time, just to make sure. So this time it looked, didn't find any updates. Session summary. 0 updates were available, 0 updates were installed, live update session is complete. So we can close that. And we can close the page for the Norton program. You can X out of that. Now, as I look down here at the bottom where that Norton shield is, notice there's no water bubble on that shield anymore. We have resolved that problem where it was out of date. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to download is, we're actually going to exceed number 10. We're going to go to 11A. 11A is this Belarc Advisor program, where you're going to update it. Belarc Advisor is a program that it's kind of like the professor, the computer professor. It just tells you all kinds of stuff that you never knew about your computer. All right, so I'll demonstrate here after it produces a page. I'm going to say, don't show this page again. I'm going to hit continue. Here's the Windows Firewall. I'm going to close the toolbox folder just so it won't be confusing anybody. Notice it says that it's downloading new Advisor security definitions. Your Advisor security definitions have been updated. So we're going to say OK. And it's updating the profile of this computer. So it says checking for missing security updates. That's Windows security updates. Checking for the local network of this computer. Right, so this is the Belarc Advisor report after it's finished. It uses Internet Explorer to produce the report. You notice it kind of looks like Internet Explorer up there at the top. And as we look down the computer, it tells me all kind of interesting things about the computer, like the make and the model of the computer, the serial number of the computer, the asset tag, the type of enclosure in it, the BIOS, what version of BIOS it has, the speed of the processor, how many RAM slots it has in it, how much RAM is in those RAM slots. It tells me the size of the hard drives that are in it. It tells me all this information about the processor, how many cores are available. It tells me about the operating system. And it just goes on and on. It tells me about the last login, the administrator. It tells me about the display that I'm using and the video card, the dedicated video card that's in there. It tells me about the antivirus program. It tells me what kind of networking hardware I have installed, my local area network card, as well as my I have a little lengthy thumb drive type Wi-Fi adapter in there that I'm using. It tells me what kind of other devices are on the computer. It tells me my IP addresses that I'm using. It tells me software updates, missing security updates. This is, notice it says I'm missing 18 security updates up here at the top. Those are Windows updates. Those are the updates that, there's probably more than 18, but there's at least 18. And it's identified those 18 right here. So we want to go in and we want to try to repair those 18 that are missing. Right. I'm going to hold the camera to the side here because I don't want to actually show my software licenses. But I have, it shows the program on this side, and on this side over here, it actually shows the product keys for those licenses. So I can see like my Windows 7 Professional 64-bit license key. I can see that in the product key finder type portion of this program. And then it shows me all the software programs that are actually installed on the computer. Bunches of them. A lot of these are security updates, individual programs. Well, that's the Belarc Advisor program. So if you're not familiar with it, you should get familiar with it. All right, so we know we have 18 security updates that we want to come back and try to get later from Microsoft. Now, most of the a lot of the cleaning programs are installed, and some of them are what I call raw. They just sit there waiting for you to run them. Now, I have some raw ones that need to be replaced. So, the TDSS Killer, the Norton Power Eraser, the McAfee Rootkit Removal, the Adware Cleaner program, and the Windows Malicious Software Removal Tool. All of those are 5 months out of date. So now we've got to do the hard stuff. We've got to replace those. Now those aren't actually, those 5 programs that I just mentioned, they're not actually installed on the computer. They are raw. So when you look over here, they actually have some size to them. Like your TDSS Killer, see it's 4,808 kilobits. The Norton Power Eraser is 3.3 megabytes. McAfee Rootkit Removal is 0.766 megabytes. So they actually have size to them. They're not shortcuts. Same with this Windows Malicious Software Removal Tool. It's almost 43 megabytes. And the Adware Cleaner is 4 megabytes. So we want to update those and replace these older ones with newer ones. So this is going to get a little complicated. Normally I do this like once a week or once every couple weeks, save it to my thumb drive. I just come in and I delete the old ones and copy and paste the new ones in. But for the tutorial, I'm going to actually have to follow the steps. So let's open TDSS Killer. There's a Windows Firewall. Checking for updates. Accept. Now I still know that this is 5 months out of date. So let's see if I can change parameters. Nope. I'm looking for the latest version of TDSS Killer. Let me see if this will let me click on it up here. It just shows me what version I have. And I already know that version is 5 months old. So it doesn't look like this link is going to allow me to update from the actual program. Let's see, maybe under About. Oh, same thing. Let's try under Full Protection Against Malware. What does that do? Alright, so it did take me to a Kaspersky page. And let's see, business, let's look under Home, Explore Products. Let's look under another pop-up box. Trying to get rid of this advertisement box. Is it going to let me? Maybe not. Let's look under Downloads. Let's look under Free Downloads here. Free Tools. So, what is this here? not seeing it. All right, let's just do Mr. Google, which is what I should have probably done a minute ago. All right, so we're going to download updates to TDSS Killer, Norton Power Eraser, McAfee Rootkit Remover, and Adware Cleaner, which is a Malwarebytes program, and Windows Malicious Software Removal Tool. So let's go to Internet Explorer. Go to that little search, that magnifying glass right there. Here we go. All right, and this is what I'm after, my little Google box here. It says, do you want to autocomplete? No, not necessarily. So I'm going to go up here where it says Google, and I'm going to type in TDSS Killer. So I typed in TDSS and it's seen Killer. And see where it says download free TDSS Killer Rootkit Removal? Right there from the Kaspersky site. We're going to get it from there. And we're going to download it. And it gives us it takes us to this download page. It's got all these different downloads on it. We don't need all this. All we need is this .exe right here. So let's make this a little bigger so we can see it better. Here's our TDSS right here. And this is the one that we want. Not the zipped one, but this one. So we're going to click right there. This is an agreement page of some type. So I accept the terms. It's free, so don't worry about it. Download. Down here where it says run, save, whatever, we're going to say save as. And we're going to rename that 0 4 or we're going to rename it 04A, and I'm going to put the camera down for half a second to do it because I'm having trouble working. Okay, so sorry about that. That was very unprofessional on my part, but I just couldn't do it any other way. 04A is what I'm naming this. TDSS Killer. I'm putting today's date down that I'm downloading it, 1/18/2018. And it's going to be in position 04A in the toolbox. So that's why I'm putting the 04A in front of there. I'm going to save it on my desktop so I can find it. It's going to appear right here after I download it. So I'm going to hit save. And there it is. 04A TDSS Killer. All right, it's asking me, do I want to run it, open it, or view it? I don't want to do any of that. I just want to get out of that. So now I'm going to come back to my magnifying glass up here. I'm going to go back to Google. I'm going to type in Norton Power Eraser, or NPE. NPE. Norton Power Eraser. And let's just hit enter and see what happens. Oh, that's World of Plastics, World of Plastic. There it is, Norton Power Eraser. Right there. Norton Power Eraser uses our most aggressive scanning technology to eliminate threats from traditional virus that traditional virus scanning doesn't always detect. That's the one we want. So we're going to select that. It's going to take us to the Norton site, Norton Power Eraser. We're going to download it. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to come over and say save as. This one is going to be 004C. And today's date is _01 _18 _2018. Alright, sorry about that. It probably made everybody sick trying to watch the... I'm pretty sure the Norton Power Eraser is 04C. So I'm going to say save to the desktop again. So it's going to appear right here in just a minute. Save. There it is. Norton Power Eraser. And close that. Come back up here to our little magnifying glass. Google. Here's our Google search box. We're going to call it McAfee. MCAFE. McAfee Rootkit Remover. That's what we're after. Alright, Rootkit Remover, McAfee Free Tools. That sounds like it. Or we could go to this one here. It doesn't really matter. Let's go to this one since this is United Kingdom. Download the latest version of Rootkit Remover right there. And download this tool now. And probably an accept page. Download now. Here we go. Save as. It's going to be 04B, I believe. MCAAFE. McAfee Rootkit Remover 01 18. Alright. So this is what I'm naming it. McAfee Rootkit Remover 01 18 2018. Save it to the desktop. I'm going to hit save. And there it is. Alright, so we're moving right along. I'm closing that one. The last one, I hit the little Google, the magnifying glass, come back over here to Google. Alright, this one is going to be called Adware Cleaner. ADW. There it is, Cleaner. Right there. Alright, it's a Malwarebytes product. And we're going to get it from the Malwarebytes website right there. Free downloads from Malwarebytes. And here it is. Do you want to save, run or save? We're going to save as. And we're going to call it 04D. Adware Cleaner. And the date. Alright. So 04D AdWord Cleaner, that version, 1/18/2018. We're going to save it on the desktop. Hit save. And there it is. So we have those 4 now downloaded. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this. Close all tabs. So I'm going to go in my toolbox. I'm going to delete the old ones. So TDSS Killer, that's an old one. Do them one at a time for the video. Alright, now this Windows Malicious Software Removal Tool, I'm going to download it on the next video because my battery's about to die on my phone. And the Hitman Pro I'm not going to update. I'm going to leave it as is. But I will download the Windows Malicious Software Removal Tool and the Windows updates. I'll repair those in the next video. And I'll download those, at least 18 videos that were short. Alright, thank you for viewing my tutorial video. It was a long one. It was a minute. It was 1 hour and 27 minutes at this point. Again, my name is Rory King, Custom Computer Detailing in Natchez, N-A-T-C-H-E-Z, Mississippi. My phone number is 601-870-5372. I'd love to do some business with you. And this is the back side of my card. Thank you very much for viewing. Give me a thumbs up. Apologize for the shakiness of the camera at times. Doing the best I can without a tripod over here. Thank you and have a great evening.